Hi everyone. As they say in Star Wars, the saga continues. I'm continuing my series of everything I am starting the year off with when it comes to planner, stationery, and art supplies. Because I'm doing a no buy year this year, and these videos, if anything, will prove exactly why I need to do a no buy year. But these are both to serve as like sort of a starting point so you can see what I have and hold me accountable, and also so that I have a reference at the end of the year when I see what I have left. I will link down below my video on my no buy year 2023, as well as my previous installments in this series. Today we are digging into pens. Let me define really quick what I'm going to show you today. So I have a bunch of pens and a bunch of markers, and today is just going to be pens. By pens, I mean fine liner pens, ballpoint pens, if I have any of those currently. I have a couple, I think. Gel pens, and color fine liners. I am not including highlighters, brush pens, markers. Sharpies, I couldn't figure out where I wanted them to go, so there may be a couple that pop up in some of these baskets, but the majority of my Sharpies will show up in my next video with markers. So I keep my pens in kind of two separate spots in my office. The first is at my desk where I'm sitting right now. I have a jar on my desk, and then I have a couple sets of drawers like right under my desk. It's a standing desk where I keep all of the pens close to hand that I use on a regular basis. And then in the back of my office, I have a whole bunch of storage where I keep pens I've tested in the past, pens I keep for reference purposes, other pens I'm not using currently, along with a whole bunch of other shit that we'll get into in other videos. So what I wanted to do was show you the black pens first, because almost all of the black pens are pens that I keep close at hand to my desk. And first and foremost, I'm just going to show you this little pile right here, because these are the current pens that are living in my little cup that I keep. It's actually a big cup that I keep on my desk of my current, the markers the pens I am currently using. So these are what are in there currently. I've got, how many times can I say currently? I've got a couple of gel pens. These are both Pentel Energel RTX pens. I love these. These are one of my favorite gel pens. This is an 07. This is an 05. They're both black ink, and I just have them because I like to have gel pens handy. And then here are the current fine liners I'm using. I have a Staedtler Pigment Liner 01, which is one of my favorite current pens. It's not really the one I'm using right now, but I do have it out just in case I want it. And then the pens I'm using in my planner and in both work and personal right now, which are the Uni-Pen pens. I've got two of their pigment ink, which is just fine for being used on paper, 01 and 03. And then I have two of the oil-based ink, which are the ones I use on like vinyl stickers and washi tape. And these are also 01 and 03. So you will see all of these pens show up again in other parts of this video, but these are the ones that are living in the jar on my desk because I am currently using them. Other random pens. This is a Baron Fig Squire. It is one of their special edition Earth Day pens. I really like it, but I do keep it out mostly because I like looking at it. It has a little stand and everything else. This jar that usually lives up on my shelf because I like to look at it. This jar came from the New York City Planner Addicts from one of the events I went to, and the pens in here are Villa Beautiful and Pen Gems and just other fancy pretty pens, couture pens, whole bunch of different just fancy pens that I don't really use, I just like to look at. So there's those. In my drawer next to my desk, I have a bunch of paint pens that you will see, like paint markers, you'll see in the markers video. But these are the white gel pens that I prefer to use both in my planner, but also like in my artwork. And that is the Uniball Signo broad white gel pen. I have a few of these here, and I believe we'll see a few more of these floating around when I go through the rest of my pens, but I just wanted to pull these out because the bin that they're in is not one I'm going to be going through in this video. I love these though. These are fantastic white opaque pens. Let's take a look at what lives in the drawers next to my desk. So this bin lives actually underneath my printer, and what this is one white gel pen. This is a Juice Up Pilot white pen. I'm actually going to stick with the other white pens. I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet. I got it in a sampler pack from Jet Pens a while back. I don't like it as much as the Uniball Signo, that's for sure. But all of these are all of my other Uni-Pen non-permanent pens. So these are not the permanent alcohol ink. Any more of those are the oil-based ink. Those are elsewhere. These are just different Uni-Pen pens. Some of them are like the sepia tones and the gray tones that I got a while back. And the rest of them are just different sizes of the black pigment ink. And I don't use these as often as the 03 and the 01, but I wanted to keep them out since this is the kind of pen that I'm using in my planner the most right now. And so I keep these just in one of my drawers next to where I keep all my spare mild liners and dot line markers. In the drawers next to me is where I keep all of my fine liners and everything else that I use, my black fine liners. So this bucket here is all of my Pitt Artist pens and my Pigma Microns, black. I have some color fine liners of these Pigma Microns that I will show when I talk about the color pens, but I don't keep those next to me because I don't use them in the same way. As for brush pens from Pitt Artist Pen, those I'll show in the markers video. But these are basically all fine liners of just different sizes. These ones in this bin, the Pigma Microns and the Pitt Artist Pens, are what I prefer to use for drawing. I will also use them in my planner, but when it comes to drawing, these are the ones I prefer to use because they're both archival. The ink is really black, and I just like the variety of sizes. So you can see here, I'm just grabbing a handful of them, but like small, extra small, medium, larger than that, calligraphy, brush, just all black Pitt Artist Pens of different sizes here. And then the Pigma Microns, again, they're just all different sizes of black Pigma Micron, going from the 1, which is a massive like graphic liner, all the way down to 005. So this is just a massive jug, which tells me I probably have enough black fine liners to last me for fucking ever. Next to that, I keep this little bin, and what these are all of my permanent markers that I would use on things like washi tape and vinyl stickers. So I have a whole bunch of these Pilot Ultra Fine Point permanent pens. I've got some more of the Uni-Pen, Sakura Micro Perm, Le Pen Permanent. Yeah, I think those are the only brands I've got in here right now, is the Pilot, the Le Pen, the Micro Perm, and the Uni-Pen. Like I said, Sharpies are something else, and we'll see those in the markers video. But again, I shouldn't have any need to buy new pens to use on vinyl stickers because I know all of these work to varying degrees. I would say of all of them, the Pilot one dries the slowest, and the Micro Perm probably dries the fastest. Then this bin is my other fine liners. These are also fine liners I use for drawing, but I will also use these for writing in my planner as well. And what I have in here is a mix of Tombow mono drawing pens, which I love, sizes 101 through 08, and then a bunch of the Pigeon Letters monoline drawing pens, which I also like, but of my Tombows, my Pitt Artist pens, my Microns, and the Pigeon Liners pens, I think the Pigeon Liners are my least favorite. I like them all. The Pigeon Liners are my least favorite. In this bucket are all of the pens I use that like are fine line markers that I do not use for drawing. If I do, it's just for doodling, but I will use these for lettering. I will use these for writing. This is just a mixture of some of my favorite black fine liners to just have around. I have used all of these in my planner at some point, or these brands in my planner at some point or another, but they are just basic black fine liners that I keep around for like regular shit that's not like artwork that I need to be archival or whatever the case may be. And so in here we've got just a nice mixture of, we've got some medium-sized Papermate flares, we've got some ultra-fine Papermate flare, which is my favorite size of the Papermate flare, some Sharpie pens, got this Zig Writer, more Statler pigment liners. I've said before that I love these in my planner and to write with, but I don't like them to draw with because the ink is not very black. These are some of the Scribbles That Matter fine liners. We've got some a whole bunch of the Pilot fine liners. I went through a hardcore Pilot fine liner phase, and so I still have a shit ton of those, and I'm imagining I will go through a phase like that again sometime this year. Some of these Pentel Finitos. This one's leaky, though. We're going to get rid of this leaky boy before that causes a mess. These Pilot Finitos, another one I've gone through like a major renaissance with these in my planner before. These Optimus fine point pens, which are basically if the Pilot pen and the Papermate Flare had a baby, and then the baby was super cheap, it would probably be these guys. Got a liquid flare in here. I've got one of these Sarasa porous point pens. Just basic black fine liners that I wouldn't really use for anything besides lettering practice or just regular like writing and note taking. And then we have this bucket, which is all of my black gel pens and a couple of black fine liners, and maybe even a blue one because this Klenna is blue ink. But we've got like a whole bunch of miscellaneous ones. Like there's a bunch of my favorites, right? Like a bunch of my favorite Pentel Energel RTX pens. Like this is Energel RTX. This is Energel RTX. A couple of Energel Klennas. Then we have a bunch of Pilot G207s, one of the OGs in the planner community. This is a Papermate gel pen. This is a very broad point. This is 1.0. I like that one for the fun. This one is a Sarasa Dry Air Fit. I don't remember what. I think I got this in a sampler pack too. A bunch of these came from samplers. Like this one is an Energel Pentel, but I don't remember. This is like a Japanese Energel, and I don't remember where I got that. Pen from the Hobonichi package. This is a multicolor pen. Just a couple ballpoint pens. I like using those for sketching. Here's that same Uniball Signo, but in black. We've got some Sharpie S-Gels. More Energels, more Papermates. This one is a Tool gel pen. Target gel rollers. Just black. There's a Villa Beautiful pen. Some black gel pens. It's another one of those juice up pens. Just black gel pens, basically. And then we also have a pack of Energel RTX. And then this is a bunch of refills for 07. I think I have 07 and 05 refills here. It might just be 07. Yeah, 05 and 07 needle tip refills for the Energels. And then this also has in here a few more of my Staedtler pigment liners, as well as a few of these Uni sign pens. So these are just some spares. And the Uni sign pens are actually more of a marker, and I've got a few more of those floating around, which we'll talk about next video when we talk markers. Now that we've gone through all the pens, the black pens basically that I keep near my desk, I am going to pull out all of the pens that are living in my storage. Again, not highlighters, markers, anything like that, just pens. First and foremost, we have a few packs of pens that either I bought for review and haven't reviewed yet, and so they're still in their packs. So these are definitely pens I am going to want to take a look at in later videos or vlogs. Of those, I've used a few of them. Here's a couple packs of Energel Infree. They are also Pentel Energel, which we know I like. These ones, 05mm, are needle tip, and then these ones, which are 07mm, are the one that's not needle tip, but they're both gel pen and they're color inks. They look very pretty, and I would love to take a look at these in the video. So if you're interested in seeing any of these in videos, just let me know in the comments below. This is a pack of the Papermate Bold flares, which I bought to review and then totally forgot I had them, and then forgot I had them to the point where I bought a few more of them, and you'll see those when I get to them. These are like big fatty boom batty Papermate flares, so thicker than the usual medium tip, and this is the pack of 16 colors. It's a 1.2mm felt tip. We have these Sarasa Clip Deco Shine metallic gel pens. I have a bunch of other Sarasa Clip pens, which we'll look at in a second, but these ones I specifically kept when I got some swag from Go Wild. I gave away a bunch of the zebra swag in my Vlogmas giveaways, but I kept these guys because they look so pretty. But I haven't really fucked with them yet, so those are still in the package. And then finally, these guys, which I saw someone using online and hunted them down, and I just need to, again, do a review of these. These are gel roller pens, 0.7mm from Energel, and they are the black with hint of color. So regular black, crimson black, Bordeaux black, charcoal black, indigo black, and olive black. So definitely want to take a look at these in the future. In this bin, I have all, like I remember I was saying, I had all those white gel pens. These are the rest of them. So these are all of my Uniball Signos. I definitely don't need to order any of those. Plus, I do have a handful of silver Signos, black Signos, and then I have this white Sarasa clip that's a white ink pen that I haven't really fucked with too much. And then this one, which I love. This is a pigment metallic pen from, I don't know what the brand is. What is the brand of this? It's Pentel. I got this in a sampler pack of purple inks. And this one is a metallic hybrid ink. It's just a really pretty purple, like silvery, shimmery purple. So I just kept it in there because it's the same body as the rest of them. So in here are all of my clip pens. These are color gel pens. These are Pilot Juice 0.38. We've got also in here some Pilot Juice 0.7, which I like a lot better than the 0.38. And then there's a bunch of Sarasa Clip from Zebra. I've also got just a random handful of these guys. Some of them look like they're old Erin Condren pens. I thought I got rid of all those, but I guess I didn't. But yeah, these are all color gel pens, and honestly, I have no idea how much of these I'll actually use, considering I don't tend to write with them. The reason I keep them mostly is for comparison's sake. So there is that. But I have a bunch of colorful gel pens. Maybe a good challenge for me would be to do a pen-only plan with me using only what's in this bin. And then to wrap up the gel pens, we have our old friends at Jelly Roll. I actually have this was once a big box with like the full Jelly Roll line that I bought, and I've got all the different Jelly Rolls. I've got like the shimmery ones, I've got the opaque ones, I've got the fluorescent ones, I've got the ones that have like the gold or silver flip to them, where they're like gold but also green, gold but also some other color. Like, I've got all the Jelly Rolls you could possibly want. I've got enough Jelly Rolls to choke a chicken, and this would be another fun plan with me. I feel like I should be taking notes here as to like, because when I was doing the washi tape and the sticker videos, I was like, ooh, I want to do a video of this. Ooh, I want to do a video of this. An all Jelly Roll all the time video could be very fun. So again, if you have any ideas from these for me for this next No Buy year, please let me know. That was all the gel pens that I could find digging through. I have a lot more black pens than I have colorful pens because I don't use the colorful pens, and I've given a lot of them away over the years when I've reviewed them. I also don't have a lot of gel pens left. What I have left now is fine liners. This bin is one of my favorite bins of all my colorful fine liners, not because I use these on the regular, but because these make really good comparison pens. In here are a few random ones. We'll pull those out, but what's in here are all of my Staedtler and Stabilo color fine liners. These are excellent when it comes to comparing other fine liners that are similar to this. So it's, again, these are something I don't anticipate using a lot of, but I do anticipate keeping these to compare them to what other pens I review. I've had other color fine liners like this in the past that I have given away. Sunny has been the recipient of a lot of them because they love to write with pens like this, but the Stabilos and the Staedtlers I imagine I will hang on to until they are dried out because I like to use them for comparison's sake for other reviews. I don't have any excuse for these. I would say that this is my bin of like more random colorful fine liners, right? So there's these guys, the Monami Plus pens, which I really like, but I never remember to use. So now that I have reminded myself that these exist, I kind of want to remind myself to keep remembering that they exist, because these are pens. These remind me very much of my childhood. It's not that I used these in my childhood, but I used pens like these in my childhood. And I strongly remember, I'm just separating out some of the ones I know don't belong in this bin. They just rolled into each other because of how disorganized I am. These pens just remind me very strongly of feelings I had as a kid. And I really, really want to remember these. So I think they will go on top of this pile once I am done going through it. God, a lot of the Jelly Rolls got mixed up in here. WTF mate. But other than these Monami pens, these are the Sarasa Porous Point pens. I had that black one that was in the other bin. The funny thing with these guys is that I actually have used these probably more than any other of the color highlighters, fine liners that I have, For some reason, whenever I need a list making pen, where I just want to use something that's not black, because that does happen. When I make lists, I like to go grab colorful pens because it's fun, right? And I will almost always grab one of these. I don't know what it is about these guys. They're not my particular favorite. I just always grab them. So I would like to have these Monami ones on top because I would like them to be the ones I grab. Also in here, we've got some of these Tulle fine liners, these Papermate liquid flares, which I love the color and the tip of. I just hate how juicy they are because they bleed like a motherfucker. And then I'll just put these Monamis on top, and hopefully I will remember to pull them out. And then finally we have this bin, which I think needs to be organized a bit. So like I said, remember how I said there were some of the bold tips that I bought and then I opened them up? That would be these guys. In this bin, what we have are Papermate flares and Papermate flare dupes, basically. So of the dupes, we have the Optimus ones, the medium tip pens that I did a review of, and we saw one of these as well in the earlier bin. So the Optimus Prime, that's not what they are, but that's what I call them. Optimus Prime pens are definitely a Papermate flare impostor. There's also these Amazon Basics pens, which are, again, basically Papermate flare impostors. And again, part of the reason I've kept these is not because I use them so much, but because having them to compare to the Papermate flares is really helpful. And then, of course, on top of all of that, we have the Papermate flares. We've got the Papermate flare Ultrafines, which are the ones with the silver barrel, which is my favorite tip, but they just don't make anywhere near as many colors as they do in the standard size tip. And then we have the medium size tip, which have the full color, like from top to bottom on the pen. And then we also have some of these bold ones, which have the white barrel, which again, if you want to see a video on that, let me know, because like I said, I've got them. I'm going to see if they can stack better this way, since these are short. This might work better. You'll notice I'm also weeding out all of the Le Pens. We're going to talk about those in a minute. Because much like the Monami, the Le Pens are another favorite of mine that I had completely spaced on because I don't ever look at them. So in order to use them, I have an idea, and we'll talk about that in a second. But in the meantime, marvel at my extreme amount of color pens when you've already seen that all of the pens I keep close at hand are black. No, I don't have a problem. Not at all. Alright, so that's all the fine liners and fine liner dupes. So then these are all of my Le Pens, which I fucking love. I don't like how tiny the barrel is. I don't have small hands. I'm 6'2". My hands are not gigantic, but they are not an average size person's hands. And so these tiny little pens, even with the cap on, just they're skinny and they're tiny, but I just love writing with them, and I miss them, and I had totally brain farted on them. These and those Monami pens. So maybe what I want to do I went digging through all of my bins to grab out other bins in case I wanted to rearrange. Maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of my Le Pens in, and then all of my Monami Plus pens, these color fine liners that I really like and I totally never use because I never think about them. That's all of them. And put these in my drawer and break the black pen only part of my drawer to put in some of these colorful fine liners. But anyway, that's all my pens. Not my markers, not my highlighters, just my pens. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What is your favorite pen to use? Let me know, because I probably own it. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, friends, peace.